one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west to the death till they bury me. One west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I'm one west till they bury me. I be one west till they...
Because we've been doing this for over 10 years now, and the problem is getting worse. It's getting systemically worse. Our children, like we said earlier, self-harming, and they're falling through the cracks, falling through the nets. And even today, whilst we were speaking, I had a parent contact me to tell me that her 9-year-old is attempting suicide. So it's definitely getting worse. So it is something we're doing in the background, but we're taking it to central government, and then from them, then they should be able to pass it out. However, as a black organisation, and with all these sound bites and tokens they give us about the black child, about the black family, and how much they care about us, they don't. Because even when I've had several meetings leading up to this point, and what they try to tell us is that, well, there's this XYZ organisation who happen to be European, and they're doing very similar work to you, so I think you should partner with them rather than only doing. But it's like the data and the statistics are out there, and we're not going to back down for representing our community, because our community don't have a voice. Every other community has a voice. Every other community has their resources that they pull. Every other community has access to funding from the local authority. But there is a lot of funding, but we don't seem to be able to get that seat at the table. We are, because our needs are different. We can't all be lumped into one homogenous group. Because since we've been here en masse for 75 plus years, to this date, we're still having the same conversations we had back then. We're still having them now. And if racism is a factor, just so that people understand this in school, schools do not have to record or report racism. So if racism is a problem in a school, which we find it is quite a lot of the time, how do you prove it if it's not recorded or reported? I went to Parliament and I said, listen, we need to do a proper investigation on all schools up and down the UK with regards to racist incidents. We've had children where their afros have been set on fire, teeth kicked out of their head, called nigger, called bastard, monkey, so on and such like. Excuse me, children, close your ears. And nothing happens. Police have been called, nothing happens. Reported to the teachers, nothing's happened. We then went to the Safeguarding League and the local authority. Do you know what happened? They then tried to investigate the parents with social services, saying that there's a safeguarding concern around the family. So these are the things that we keep coming up against as an organisation, and we're forever firefighters, because these are children. Do you understand what I'm saying? Your children are defenseless when they're not in your care, and you hand them over to somebody at the beginning of the day, pick them up at the end of the day, and they are traumatized. And by the time now they come home and now you're dealing with that trauma, you don't know what to do, where to go, who to speak to. And then your child is the one that has to still go back there day in, day out for 30 hours a week. We've got children that have been placed in isolation for up to 3 months in year 7. We've just started school. Casey Flanders is one of our cases. Yeah, Child Q, another one of our cases. There's so many cases that the sexual abuse that's going on in schools. Yeah, with not just other students, but teachers. It's all starting to come out now, though. Right. Because we've been posting it on our Instagram. You'll see time after time after time after time when the children are being ignored. Which is where someone said earlier, please listen to your children. Take everything on board.
Just get to the point that I would say, churches aren't here, right? That was my other point to say. Okay, so the West Midlands Centre is here, but do we have any churches? The churches are all closed.
The churches they're open.
No,
it's Sunday.
For children, no. I mean, the children.
Exactly.
So you're you're head of the Black Child Agenda, right? Okay, that's interesting. I want to speak about kind of what you were mentioning about. You mentioned one of the sisters asked a question about how if we're going to local levels, and you mentioned about how you've been trying to get to the local government and applying for funding, and they're saying, oh well, there's these other organizations, they're dealing with the black child, so-called.
No, they don't. That's the thing. They want me to sign with white organizations when our needs are different and our needs are specific.
Right. That's a heavy point. You see something I'm going to talk about, of course, when we talk. I don't really have necessarily a question, but definitely more of a conversation to talk about even the history of kind of all the different topics everybody talks about on this panel, which is it lined up a lot. Like there's a lot of our history that people don't. We know it, but we don't do anything about it. And we've been having these conversations, these meetings for generations and generations, and is really, you know, it's something we need to. It's really powerful how you mentioned, you know, we're not accepting. Okay, let's partner with these, you know, these white organizations that say they're, you know, for the an ethnic minority. Really, that's, you know, every other race aside from us. Right. It was. I just wanted to mention it was real powerful what you're saying about being individual, because that's kind of what we need. We need, you know, black people. The schooling system in Britain has failed black people since we came here, and it's of course deliberate. But I just wanted to say it was real powerful because one thing we don't have as a nation in Britain, all over the world, even in America, we don't have our own thing. We don't have anything that's ours.
Yeah, so you've got a skilled workforce, or you skill up a workforce into entrepreneurship, into developing for ourselves, for us, by us, collective economics. That's all we need to do. If we had our own school and we're teaching children entrepreneurship, or economics, political science, all of these things, agriculture, how to grow food. Now you try and tell the white man that that's what we want to do with our children, and tell them, make them see if they're going to let you. Of course they're not going to make you do that. They shut down several schools that I know right here in the UK that were doing that with children. They shut them down and made up false accusations against them because they want workers. They're preparing us for either the prisons, an employment structure that doesn't pay us enough, so we have to be dependent on them. And then also a mental health institution that they juice up our children. I've seen 19-year-olds, 13-year-olds fined, and then they're taken from their parents through because of schools. I'm going to be talking about it later. And then juiced up into the mental health system. So then now your child is completely dysfunctional. They cannot function in normal society. They're now classified as mentally having problems. If they ever have a child, that child will be immediately taken away or has a dependency problem because of the amount of drugs that they're inducing to parents. So it's a whole system. And remember, this system has been like this for hundreds of years. Their plan for us wasn't designed today. Do you understand? It wasn't designed. This has been going back hundreds of years. They've been planning this, and then only now what we're seeing is their execution. What have we been planning? We've just been trying to catch a break. It's not that we don't have the skill. It's not that we don't have the money. It's not that we don't have the passion. It's just that we just don't know how to navigate. Do you understand? How to navigate their system. And why should we? We're just sending our children to school to get an education and whatever.
We're too busy. Even we're too busy on work. We have we can't afford to pay rent.
The system so that you are always working, so that because they want to increase school hours.
Well, I'm sure they
till 5 and 6.
Make it more like prison.
So that way, who's raising your child? Because it ain't you. Even now, your child spends more time in the system than they do with you. So when you look at the issues of the child, how are you blaming me then? If my child's got all these problems, you're the one that's looking after them for 30 hours a week. Why are you coming to talk to me? Go and talk to your teachers and tell me what your teachers are doing, why my child has got these problems. Because that's not my At home, you don't behave like that. At home, she don't behave like that. In fact, I can show you the Saturday school that they go to, and they're doing amazingly well, thank you. Do you get what I'm saying?
I get what you're saying.
We're not seeing that it's a systematic culture of blatant racism, not unconscious bias, which is these bullshit words they keep giving us. No, it's blatant racism, it's blatant harassment. You hate our children, you hate us, but we have to be the ones to fix it. They ain't gonna fix it. They ain't fixing shit. Besides your key to your jail cell.
Right. That's heavy. And if you don't mind me asking, where were you? What's your background? I know you mentioned Africa a few times. Are you from Africa? Or are you from kind of more the West Indies?
They're all from Africa, but I'm from Caribbean.
You're from the Caribbean, Jamaica.
But I live between here and Ghana.
Okay.
I'm going again soon, so I live between here and Ghana, and you see the difference between the children. The difference is mind blowing. Absolutely mind blowing, because children out there are children. And they 11-year-old behaving like a child. I was like, what? And I was like, hold on a minute. She's actually behaving like an 11-year-old.
Right. And that, as you mentioned, the sister brought out, I forget her name, with the braids, the sister with the braids.
Braids,
Angeline. She mentioned about the adultification and how, they treating our daughters like young daughters as if they're grown women. They're pushing in the media all these things, not young daughters, not young sons, like they're grown men. Like they, even how they treat our women, they don't, in healthcare, they don't treat our women the same way.
Black women 5 times more likely to decide urinal after childbirth because they don't get any care. Even today in medical books, they don't see us as feeling pain. My husband is dead because of the way how they treated him. They don't see him as having any pain, which is why I slept in hospital chairs for 2 years, which is why I punched down a nurse. Because I saw the lack of treatment and care, telling him to shut up, there's nothing wrong with him when he's having a crisis, pumping him full of morphine to where his kidneys failed and he was on dialysis 2 times a week. So you go from being a company director, one of the most successful black businesses in the UK, to getting on a disabled bus 3 times a week. Make that make sense. All because of the lack of care. So we've got a huge area, but it can be fixed. If we stop spending money on foolishness, not to say that we shouldn't, not to say that we shouldn't have parties, not to say that we shouldn't want to drink or whatever it is that we do as a recreation, but we still need to make sure that we're investing in our people. And I'm also going to talk about funding afterwards as well. A lot of us don't, we think we're too stush for funding. It's like, no.
We need
put
funding.
that money in there. That money is out. If you're paying taxes or your parents have come from the Windrush generation and even from the slave trade, then that's our money.
That's
and we need to go and get it because we think that the Asians have somehow just pulled all of their resources. They're spending their money.
They got grants, they get even tax cuts, and they get all these benefits.
They're getting money from local government, from central government. If you not notice how these people have positioned themselves in politics, how have you got an Asian Prime Minister of England? One of the most racist country in the world. Tell me how that makes sense. They have money talk and they have got organized. That's it.
You know what they have? They have a nation. They have a nation where they identify that they're all together.
But remember, no one has been through what we've been through. We've had everything stripped from us. They still have a language, they have a culture, they have a tradition, they have all of those things. The only people that, I'll take away the Caribbean community, as anyone who's African, they still have a culture.
They have a culture.
They still have a language. Because my husband was Nigerian Yoruba. When I saw his culture, I was like, my God. I told him, I'm so jealous. Because you have a language, you have a culture. When you have a baby, after 9 days, you have to present the baby to the community. Everyone comes round and they give them salt and sugar and pepper and this. And I'm like, we don't have that. We have a christening and a great party. You get what I mean? And that's not our fault. It's been lost. So when we look at who we are and what we're doing, I blame us to a degree, but not entirely, because we've just forgotten. And we don't have that. Where do we go back to? We look at maybe the Caribbean. Those things have mostly been lost. You know what I mean? Unless we go back to Africa and look, can we trace ourselves back? Probably not. Pick a country out there. Pick one and then follow that tradition and encompass it in your household.
Okay, here's what I'll say. Even Africa, a lot of people, we're looking for our identity. We always trace it to Africa because that's where we were taken. Now, we as West Indians or the Benjamites, we are not African. We're not the same people. There's differences in culture, there's differences in everything. We're not the same people. We were taken from Africa because when we were fleeing Roman persecution, and this is in the Bible, right? The Bible is our history records. If you want to know about Black history, it's found in the Bible. Blacks, Hispanics, and Native Indians, the people who don't have an identity today beyond what our oppressor has given us, we are the Israelites that the Bible speaks of. The Bible prophesies the Israelites will go into Egypt, which is synonymous with slavery. If you go in the Hebrew word for Egypt, it means bondage. It says we will go into bondage again, Egypt again, with ships. That happened to our people. We fled into Africa, and the Africans actually sold our people to the white man, sold our people to the Europeans. That's how we ended up in Jamaica, Trinidad, in America. That's how we ended up in these places. But it's definitely important. With the ISUPK, my organization, ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, we've been bringing out our actual history since 1969. But it falls on deaf ears because we're too busy, worrying about Beyonce and Cardi B, and we're too busy worrying about whether Diddy did it, right?
Oh, Diddy?
Diddy did everything. Diddy did everything they accused him of, right? But that's part of what I want to speak of when we get back into this thing for sure.
No sweat. I just wanted to introduce myself. My name is Police Officer 500 of Ra'al. This is, my physical father, my spiritual brother, Officer 500 of Zapawan. I represent the ISUPK, the Israelite School of Universal and Practical Knowledge, under commanding GEN.YAHANNA. What we do is we teach Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians who we are. A lot of the issues that we have as a nation of people, we've been having these problems since the Windrush generation. We've been having these issues for generation after generation, meeting after meeting, trying to figure out our issues. A lot of the reasons we have these issues, there's so many powerful points each person on the panel made, you know what I'm saying? So I'm gonna touch on each kind of point. But a lot of the issues that we have is because we as a nation, we don't have an identity. Our identity was taken from us. Right. We're not British, we're not, we're not African, we're not even Jamaican, Trinidadian, Bayesian. We, as a nation, if you look in the Bible and you read the Bible, you open up that book, you go into that historical record, we are the lost tribes of the house of Israel.
That's right.
All right, now I want to touch on a few points, even on what Reed was saying. There's a powerful point he was going into on the SEND school, and this sister here made a point about how in the schooling system they've always been prejudiced, and even, if we go into history, in like the 1970s, the 1960s, around the Windrush generation, we came over here, a lot of our children were sent to SEND school wrongfully. A lot of our children, they were marked as, what they did was they got, white psychologists to do IQ tests. Right. And what they would do is, because of course they know the people from the West Indies, they might call things different things. They'd show a black child a picture of a tap and say, what is this? That black child from the West Indies, they'd say it's a pipe. Right. We call it a pipe in Jamaica, or wherever we're from, the West Indies, right? Then that psychologist would say, oh no, you're wrong. Because they call it a tap, right? And use these tactics, use those things to put us now in SEND school, saying that we need, we special education needs. Meanwhile, he's fully functional, but he's now put in these schools where his education is now limited. It's very limited, because they're dealing with people with educational needs. But this person now is not learning, basic grammar that he should be learning. He's not learning, mathematics and science and things that are going to help this person get a job in the future. Even, back in those days, I don't know if it's changed. I don't know if the sister Ree might know a bit more about it, but in those days, once you pass SEND school or graduate, there's no sort of qualifications or anything. Right. So once you finish your schooling, you can't get any sort of job. If you're lucky, you end up as a laborer, but it's either you're working in McDonald's or you can't get a job at all. So they using these tactics to, even on the thing, it's the school to prison pipeline. They use all these tactics. The Bible says in Ephesians 6 and verse 12, we wrestle not against flesh and blood. It's not even really about we going through. We have all these mental illnesses, but what we need to fight, what we're fighting against is deeper than surface level. Right. We're fighting against this oppressor in it says principalities and powers and rulers and spiritual wickedness.
That's why I'm looking, my name's Paul, you see.
Right. You know what I'm saying? We fighting a fight that we don't even know we're fighting. I think it was Cheryl, you said, we're in a war. Mm-hmm. We're in a war. All these other nations, especially our oppressor, is warring against us. Right. But we're not aware that we're in this war. We don't even know, we don't even have a side to pick. We kind of sided with, the East Indians, they come over here, they prosper, but and we help them, but they leave us behind. Right. The same with the Irish, they used us and abused us, just abandoned us. We as a nation, Blacks, Hispanics, Native Indians, we need an identifier. It's beyond Jamaica, it's beyond Trinidad, it's beyond Cuba, it's beyond the Dominica, Haiti, all these places. We are the lost tribes of the house of Israel.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying?
If I may, so that is, it's more than color, right? This goes deep. This goes to a family tree, right? We are the children of Jacob. Abraham, Isaac, Jacob. Jacob had 12 sons. We're those lost tribes. That's our nationality. We're the chosen people of the Most High God. That's who we are. So once we get that identity of each tribe, Reuben, Simeon, Levi, Judah, Dan, Naphtali, Gad, Asher, Zebulun, Joseph, Benjamin. Once we come back to our tribes, our nationality, then we can gather as a people again. And then the Lord will have mercy on us. We start to keep the laws, statutes, and commandments of the Most High. That's what we need.
Thank you guys. Thank you so much. Thank you for your contribution.
Where can you be contacted?
Get me. I have all the information for our school. Even the sister mentioned she's from the Midlands. We have a school in the ISUPK in Birmingham. 394 Lodge Road, B18 5PW. You know, get with me after this thing.
As well.
Yeah, it's on the website on Google. Get in touch with me. I'll give you.
Yeah, definitely have a conversation. Sorry.
Yeah, I'm one of them. I'm one of them. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, that's my
When
dad.
you said genetic father, I didn't believe
No, that's
it.
my physical father. Yeah.
So that means I've known you since you were young.
Probably.
Sorry. No, it's alright.
Nah, you good.
So cool. What we're doing? Are we taking pictures or we videoing?
We could grab a picture if you could. Okay. ISUPK? UK. Yeah, that was top one.
Top one? So I follow you, and then I'm going to send you a message. I'm going to send this to my personal as well, so I can follow you.
I'm also impressed.
And then also I'll follow you on my Black History Instagram channel as well.
Yes. Oh, any sort of events and stuff as well. If you know of any events, definitely let me know. We wanna we want to definitely be a part of all Black events, everything to do with our people. Sure.
That's amazing. So thank you so much.
No sweat. I appreciate it. Nice to meet you, Angela. Oh, come on now. I got that bling on me. Yep. Oh, I'm a silver nigga myself. I like silver.
Where you know people to protect your assets, protect your money, and buy gold.
It's definitely good to know. Now, okay. Economic wise, I wouldn't even worry too much about trying to get rich or anything like that. We just, as long as we have community and we spend within the Black community, because with the Black Pound goes out. It goes to the East Indian shop, it goes to Asda, goes to the White Man, it goes to all these nations, and it never returns.
Just for what's going on now, particularly with the war in Gaza, and how it's like, they're going to try and start recruiting young Black.
Oh yeah, they're going to try. I think in America they're coming up with some lists where they enlist you. It's mandatory.
Yeah,
they're going to try, but we ain't.
Well, no, that's what I
we
like
shouldn't fight for their military. We should fight for the Lord's military. That's what the ISUPK is. You want to know what the Lord's military, what the Black military is? It's the ISUPK.
Community, leaders, they all get together and speak. So even though it's different belief systems, it doesn't stop you from, it always says, from connecting with each other and building the community. So it's very good that way. But I would say that it wasn't talking about how to get rich.
It's just protecting your assets.
It was talking about, very real fact that the money system is changing, and that if you don't have some different kind of currency to protect, basically the government is going to be.
They can just shut everything off. Like they print money. Money isn't real.
Yeah.
So I understand. that.
Yeah, absolutely.
No sweat. I appreciate your time as well. What's your name?
It's Tanya.
Nice to meet you, Tanya.
You as well.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, there's a lot going on.
But what you brought out was heavy, especially about the PTSS, post-traumatic slavery syndrome.
Yes.
Yeah.
Professor Joy DeGroy.
Yeah.
We've got a live on the Speaking Your Truth channel about that. So you can look it all.
Oh, for sure.
We've got young people who want to know about the bits that we've covered so much. We've got it's just amazing. It really is. I really enjoy doing it, and I hope that people get something from it, but also our community members as well.
Yeah. And if you don't mind me asking, what's your background? You're Jamaican, right? I heard the passport. I heard.
But like River Down and then my so
okay.
So we can talk about work.
So you got the fight in you, right? You about it. Okay, you no sweat.
Really, I'm not trying to mash down things like Cheryl just kick down
doors. I like that.
That's the kick down one.
That's good.
That's my good friend.
Right.
I'll talk it. I'll mash it my words. This one she'll just kick you down and knock off.
I hear. I mean, we need femininity in our sisters also. Hold the brother. The brothers will kick down doors. The sisters just hold it down. That's you know what I'm saying.
No, but and a lot of people lying, but not realizing that lions are one of the only biparental species in nature. The male sticks with the female. It can't run any other way, and they understand that through nature. Yeah, you may have a harem or whatever, but biparental. That's all I'm saying. So sometimes when I hear about man must do this and have
I mean, there ain't nothing wrong with a brother having more than one.
Ain't nothing wrong with it as long as it's consensual and everybody knows
you can't.
And they agree to it.
I got you.
But I don't want
He is in this area.
Yeah.
About at least 13 years. And I gave it up to be with my children, because after looking after everybody else's children in the
Yeah.
community, but now I'm going to look after my children because obviously they've got special needs.
Yeah.
And yeah, I've been through most of everything that they were saying on there. The exclusions. One with the 16 now, and one of them, the one with the more challenging one, is like 6 foot. And to him, I'm saying that there's not one of these in here that can deal with him, kind of thing. And he's a gentle soul, but I just feel like there's something else there that's making him. And like she said before, behaviours, communication. What's he trying to say? That's what I'm looking at.
I mean, black people have been under attack since we set foot in Britain, but since we were dragged, kicking and screaming onto the slave ships. We've been under attack mentally, physically, spiritually, socially. We've been under attack with everything. So it's no surprise how, why our young people, or why everybody, our old, our young, we kind of lashing out or trying to rebel. We're trying to fight something. As a people, we're fighting something, but we don't yet know what exactly we're fighting or how to fight it. Yeah. That's what we're trying to teach in the ISUPK. Hone all this energy into knowing who you're fighting, why you're fighting, because that's also important. If you don't know why you're fighting, where's your motivation? And how to fight. We don't fight by selling drugs or being violent. That's what he wants us to do. That's what our enemy wants us to do. He wants us to be in prison so he can have us legally as a slave and just do labor. He wants us away from our homes so our sisters grow up without, don't have a husband in the house, or our sons and daughters grow up without, parental figures, or a brother in the home. A father in the house is one of the most important things for a child growing up, the son and the daughter. A daughter, if she doesn't have a father in the house, 9 times out of 10, she falls into sexual exploitation real early. It's all sorts of, stress, anxiety, depression. These. When you don't have a father in the home, it's like good. I know you was bringing it all out about the, what I'm saying. And even for brothers as well, like brothers and sisters, like social issues, communication issues, behavioral disorders that lash out because you're missing something. You're missing something. You need that father figure. You need the mother. The mother is very necessary. The father is, I would say, even more necessary, because you can even look at statistics. You look at, joint parent homes, single father homes, single mother homes. The single mother home does the worst because the father is needed. The father is a disciplinarian. That father is needed, and that father is important as well. We as a nation know the law, statutes, and commandments, because we have, as a culture, we have people that might over-discipline or not know how to discipline because they were never disciplined the right way. And even getting beat as a child, that, getting beat till you're screaming and all that, that's from slavery. That's not our culture. It's not to discipline a child till they're bleeding, or, to over-discipline, or to even discipline a child when we're angry. We shouldn't do that as a people. We should wait till we're calm, then figure out a discipline. But it's all these things. It's all these things that we've been through, that we're going through, but we don't know it. We know it, but we don't even know, as a people, we don't know how to say it. We don't know. There's so many things that we don't even know what to point out, what's the problem. We don't know what the problem is really. Is it we don't have enough funding? Is it this, that, and third? There's so many issues. It's everything. It's everything. And it's the fact.
So we talk about threat response.
Yep.
We talk about flop.
Yep.
We have flopped as a community. We are totally disassociated, cut off our mind and our bodies. Oh my God. Sorry, you just made me think of something. I need to go home and write something down.
Go ahead. No sweat. Hey, the ISUPK, we inspired. Alright, no sweat. I appreciate your time. What's your name?
My name's Sam.
Sam, nice to meet you, Sam. My name's Ra'al, but no sweat. It's lovely to meet you, Sam.
Into contact again.
For sure.
Yeah.
Nobody tell you cry. You know why? Because I never saw you before. But you a black man like me. And it's worth something.
My whole life was trying to find something to follow. Had loyalty, every man tried to borrow. Felt pain and a lot of sorrow. Got betrayed, so packed, I didn't even have my heart broke. Living confused, about to lose hope. Cops got me on the side of the road. like a sideshow. Need an antidote before I croak. Now I'm setting fire to rhythm man blues, call this guitar smoke. Rebel with no cause, trying to find direction. The world got me vexed. Picked up a bad liquor habit that's hereditary from oppression. Felt like my life was on fire, trying to find an exit. Now look, 10 G's plus a good wreck. Sometimes a follower is a soldier, trying to find a good shepherd. Plus when you in hell, how do you excel? Wisdom the breath of life, I don't believe in fairy tale. Listen well to what I tell. No calling can cause pain, something that a rebel knows very well. Can't you tell I was sent from the Lord? Got a tongue like a two-edged sword.